That would have turned things off. Why does it seem so light? There we go.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Close out of these tabs up here. We don't need to see that.
How's everybody do? It's Saturday.
Hi, Steven. Hi, Josh. Hey, Aaron. AKA Sour. Yo. Well, I'm just reading what it says.
Sour, yo.
We've got our Universal shirts on. Ben is rocking his Aftercolors shirt.
Liquid Lux.
Which, if you guys haven't checked out the Aftercolors website,
some great Harry Potter merch.
I have already let Ben know that the shirts are on my birthday list for this summer. Right? Right?
On top of...
Yeah, I guess those premium screen tickets were already my birthday gift.
But
it's not too early to celebrate.
It's never too early for Aubrey.
I do love a good August birthday.
She loves a good birth month.
Yes. Hi, 60K boy.
60K.
Boy!
Jumping at Jet.
Where's Big John? At home.
At home. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll probably pop onto this in the chat.
Yeah, he'll be in the chat for sure.
Would not be shocked if he jumps in. Hi, everyone.
Hey, hola.
Jumping in lines with Jay.
See, John's already in the chat.
Here. Big John is in the house. Who else do we have here? No Ordinary Gigi. Azalea.
Nuka-Cola boy.
Hey. I do like when anybody ends their thing with boy.
Boy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Golden Ticket to History. Thank you for being here. So glad you're at our first live. Yes.
Jay, Big John.
Big John will be at HHN this year with us. So if you are around, I don't even remember our dates now because we've shifted them. The first week he will be there towards the middle end of the first week. Yep. But hi, Steven. Shout out just to Steven to start out with. He is an absolute rock star and so supportive of the Fudge Factor channel that we can't thank him enough. So thank you, Steven. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting our channel. It's truly so appreciated. And also it helps make what we do even more possible. Like, we appreciate it so much. So
we just saw you guys at Sapphire Falls.
Yeah. You should have come.
Yeah, absolutely.
I read the rest of it as you were finishing. I was like, wait, what?
Ran for the camera.
Yeah, no. Come say hi to us if you ever see us in the parks or at the hotels.
We will stop filming for sure.
We like in a good way. We don't say that in a matter of like, we're not filming. Unless you don't want to be on camera, and then we definitely will stop filming. Yep. But if you want to be on camera with us, by all means. In fact, I don't know if they'll jump on here, but we had a lovely family who is going to make a small cameo in our OI food video. They helped give a little bit of insight to Cafe La Bamba's food while we were there. So everybody, oh my gosh, there's so many people here already. Thank you for joining. Oh, and you got your postcard? Yes. Okay. If you got your postcard, so glad they made it to you guys. I was busting through some of those new postcards before we left for our trip, and like Ben was editing stuff because we were trying to get ahead on things, and I'm over here like writing stuff out, and I'm like, Ben, my hand. So I'm so glad they made it, because it personally, I like a good like handwritten note on things. And so if we're ever sending stuff to you guys, unless we're getting things mailed ahead of time, which there's some stuff coming for some new people that have joined our email list recently. If you have already been on our email list, you've already probably gotten it. So stay tuned. It's on its way. But most of the time we try to handwrite our cards that we send out to everybody.
Yeah, we write every single one.
Yes, except for that one particular one. You know what I'm talking about. So welcome, everyone. Welcome. Columbus Day weekend. Nice. Actually, that's a weekend we've talked a little bit about heading back down there, I believe, in October. It's in October, right? So
we might be there.
We might. It's not set in stone yet, but we are looking at not only doing a August-September HHN, but a second HHN visit, just because we know we love it that much. And in some way, we like to be able to go back and like do it all over again and kind of highlight the people that we know that are working and support the team members that are down there. So
Danny, how are you?
Hi, Danny. You're here. And you are so welcome, Aaron, for your hat and shirt.
We're glad.
Thank you for joining us last month and winning that, I don't know, raffle, drawing, whatever you want to call it. It's, we want to
it's fun.
Share some love.
Love.
Okay, so
we just got back from a trip.
We did.
Was it?
I am almost fully recovered.
Was it only last week?
It was literally, we got back on Monday. It was only like
That's
5
exhausting.
days ago.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago.
I took a nap today, and I think that helped me catch
probably.
up. But this guy's been going nonstop. Like when we're not working.
So first it was hot. It was hot.
Yeah. So we'll tell you guys a little bit about our last trip. If you have questions about particularly right now, the Orlando Informer meetup, or the food at the Orlando Informer meetup, the rides at the Orlando Informer meetup, Dreamworks Land. Ooh, what else did we get to do while we were down there?
The kitchen sink challenge.
Oh, the kitchen. I don't know if I want to reminisce about that again. But if you have questions about Hard Rock's kitchen sink challenge,
Sapphire Falls,
we'll tell you guys all about it and kind of give you some sneak peeks of what's to come for some new videos that are coming out here in the next couple weeks / summertime. So, Steven, I don't even know. Yep. You're just amazing. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. And again, that will be going to the HHN fund because HHN is quite the trip for us, and there's a lot of content to be filmed while we're there.
Jay is waiting for the signatures. John, you better be ready.
Get ready, John. We'll carry like a Sharpie around.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
That would be so funny. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with OI? You want to talk about Dreamworks Land? There's been a lot of new happenings. Just last night. Just yesterday, Dreamworks
kind of officially
opened at Universal. They had their sensational launch, which is the new water show with drones. Yeah, water show with drones, and then also Always at Hogwarts Castle officially launched as well. There's been some big things happening. We weren't there for the launch, but we have been keeping up with all of it, and we got some fun early experiences of Dreamworks Land that if you guys haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen like the details that they put in that world, land, what have you, it's adorable. It is so cute.
The show in Dreamworks, the Imagination Celebration, adorable,
so cute.
We weren't really sure what to think about it. Well, like when we first sat down, we were like, because it's like there's definitely screens all around, and then the stage is the same as like the Barney show. So we were kind of like, well, and the seats are all the same, and it's like, how much did they really change? And then it the show starts, and you're like, they changed a lot.
The show started, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be corny. And then it actually got going. I was like, never mind, it's corny, but also it's extremely adorable, and it hits on some really great movies that I remember watching as a kid, and then the music, and then I want to say the lighting, but what would you call it?
The immersiveness, like the screens that go all the way around are really, really impressive.
Super, super cute. And there's, I guess, puppets, if you want to call them that, like fancy puppets in it. Donks in it, the dragons in it, all from Shrek.
Kung Fu Panda.
Poe's in it. The trolls are in it, and the dancing.
And of course, the best character, King Julian.
Shh, don't give away that. So, what questions do we have here?
People want to talk
Premium Scream Night. Yes, we did buy tickets for the Premium Scream Night.
They're still on sale, which was shocking.
They're still available. We thought that they would literally sell out the day it dropped.
I was ready.
They're still available.
And we're just hitting refresh.
In fact, Big John, if you can swing it, you should just go to Premium Scream Night as well. I know that doesn't line up at all with the dates,
hotel
but you should still go. I think Premium Scream Night's going to be very interesting.
It'll be interesting to see.
Like OI and HHN had a child, and I think that will be Premium Scream Night for us. We plan on filming while we're there for it.
At least what we can.
We won't be able to get into the houses, but the food, the experience,
is it worth $350?
Is it worth the $350 per ticket? I hope we get our money's worth. I think it will be.
I think it'll be very interesting to see. I think people's biggest hesitation is so the schedule usually is team member preview, night off, night one.
Yeah.
And so they don't really have that night off to fix any real big problems that pop up.
In some sense, I kind of think it'll be cool to be there while they're working through the kinks of things. I don't mind it. Some people
will mind it for sure.
Especially with that price, like that price point for a ticket for one night, I think are going to expect like top tier. Everything's going, everything's working. Perfect. But we'll see. Like maybe they'll just knock it out of the park that first pseudo night one.
Yeah, who knows? But I mean, it'll be a fun experience regardless. There's already a big group that have already talked like that we'll meet up with.
I'm curious, and you guys can tell us in the chat. Do you guys think, how night one of HHN is normally like the night? It's the first one, everything's launching. Like, do you think the night one will still be as big, or do you think it'll kind of shift to premium scream night? Because I think there might be some changes. I think it might feel a little bit different.
Or like the media night, like the media, like I don't think I agree with a lot of the sentiment that the media night will be more of the premium scream night.
Will we get rain at premium scream night like you do on night one?
Mackenzie, we are thinking about going back to HHN around Columbus Day weekend.
Is that really what it is? I'm gonna double check just to see.
Just because like right now that's the easiest thing to plan for like my work is I will pretty much know I have that weekend
as the 14th. Yeah, 11th, 12th, 13th.
As like 14th. A 4-day. And so like I know I will have that time off to be able to go. Might it change? Yes. But
do we expect that weekend of HHN to be absolutely packed?
Bonkers? Yes.
And I would say when we go for that, we're probably not expecting to like bust through all the houses. No. We're going more so for focusing on the scare actors and the shows, and if there's Death Eaters, like all of that. And then pop it into houses when, the ones that we really love from our first week, like pretty pumped for that. So
Bob has her house list.
I will. I'm
waiting to see what other.
I want to know the IPs. Now, A Quiet Place has to be very curious. Like, I am intrigued because as much as Ben doesn't like Emily Blunt, we do like The Quiet Place as a movie.
As a movie, yeah.
As far as how they'll do that house, like there's so much noise that they pump into those houses to really encapsulate you in the fear. If you walked into a house and it was dead quiet and all you heard were like screams and like the like growl of the creatures in the background, that would be absolutely terrifying.
Because like there's no power.
Right. And so I'm curious about that one. I'm still going to stand strong that I expect that there will be a Ghostbusters house. I just think we're waiting for it to get announced. I've given up on Five Nights at Freddy's at this point. But we'll see. Like I will say though, as far as the rest of the houses go, all the originals, I have no doubt the originals will be fantastic.
The originals are hard to map out.
Yeah, hard to map out, but I very much believe in the work that Universal Creative does. And whether we're talking, what's the candy guy now? I'm just blanking on Major Sweets, or any of the additional like originals. I think those are going to be great. I'm very excited. Whatever houses we get to see behind the screens, I think it's going to be such a fun tour this year.
And every time that we kind of rack and stack originals, like it never works out ever. Like what we think is going to be awesome, like ends up being, they're still great, but it's like middle of the pack. And ones that we are like, not that excited about.
We will plan to do a live before we go down to HHN sometime in August, maybe one in July, one in August. And when we have all the houses announced, we'll go through and we'll talk about what we think our list, like from worst to best is, which will be very interesting this year, being like one of the times to talk with y'all, to talk through what we think, and then also to see after we've gone through the houses, how that changes. It'll be interesting because I know, what was the house? I'm just blanking on names today. I need more names. What was the house last year? Yeah. With he made a deal with the devil.
Darkest Deal.
Yeah. Darkest Deal was like number 8.
Pack. Yeah, middle of the pack.
Before we went. Yeah. It was low last year. And in fact, the podcast they did, I don't think did it justice as far as telling the story. Darkest Deal became one of our top houses. Not top, but like it became one that we'd keep going through. Yeah. The same for Descendants of Destruction 2 years ago. That one was a sleeper house for us. And we went through, we're like, oh my gosh, this one's good. Run it back, send it back. Let's do it again. So
Yeah, even like Choop the Chupacabra house a couple of years ago.
We fell in love with Choop, especially after we got to see the lights on. But so
one of the questions that came up, what is the price compared to an RIP? They're premium night compared. They're really similar in price per ticket. The selling point of the premium versus the RIP is like the free food. And then like you're not really battling crowds either, but there's probably going to be less crowds. I guess we'll find out. But the free food and the staggered groups is kind of the big selling point because like,
and you're just first.
Like if you're staggered, like ideally you're going to hit every single scare. So like you probably shouldn't have a bad run.
I didn't think about that.
Like you're going to be your party should be by yourself. If I'm like conceptualizing that correctly, is like your group, they waited 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, like it takes you to get through that first room.
Even if it's
then
like
the
15
next group,
seconds.
then the next. Like,
you're not on the tail of somebody
the
in
line,
front of
in
you.
the conga line. Yeah, like.
Did you want to be the line leader?
No, you're the line leader.
Someday when we're able to actually film in houses, the absolute terror that you guys will hear from me as we record me screaming is you're gonna need earmuffs.
Yep.
Like it's not gonna be pretty, but it'll be fun. It'll be a good
awesome.
laugh.
Everybody's saying we should go down Columbus Day weekend, by the way.
Okay, put it on the calendar.
Put it on. We'll just I
think it's tentatively written up there, but let's see. Oh man, boy, we got a lot of questions or a lot of comments here. Trigger scares. Yeah, it would be absolutely frightening if you go through the Quiet Place house and your noise triggers the scares.
Yeah,
we talked to somebody about that just this last weekend.
Creepy.
Yeah, we definitely will rank the houses of what we think is best to worst or worst to best or 1 through 10 before we go. Talk about it and then assess because it will change. I guarantee you it'll change. I think tell me this. What do you hope? So a year or two ago when we went, we had a clear, like, these are clearly the top houses. These are clearly our bottom houses. Whereas last year they were much more packed together. It was hard to decipher like what fell where. How do you feel about that? What would you prefer for this year? Would you rather it be like clear top, clear bottom, where we obviously love these houses the most, and this one, we'll pass on it?
No, I like last year where they were all pretty like tight because we definitely 2 years ago would like have those houses that we went through. And then we were like, okay, I'm cool with like not going through other ones. Like last year, it was just like, let's go do that one. Let's go do that one. Let's go do that. And like almost every night you're trying to get every house because like they were so good, except for Chucky. But like
Chucky was easily
you would try to go through every single one. Like, and that made your night so much more fun and enjoyable.
It was easy to walk through the park and be like, hey, there's a low wait time. Let's jump in that one.
Versus like, every single one.
We got to hit this one in the very back. And then, okay, we want to go hit that one where the wait time drops in the very front. And you're kind of like bouncing between. Ghostbusters question. Would you prefer the new Ghostbusters or old Ghostbusters? Yeah, same. We still haven't watched the newest Ghostbusters movie. I tried to rent it the other day and I accidentally rented the one from 2021. It was on the TV and neither of us really paid attention to it. Like,
being Universal vloggers, do we get invited to media events? Not yet.
Not yet.
Still just too small. We'll get there.
Yeah, like our channel is almost 2 years old.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, we're going on 2 years now, and like we have seen some significant growth over that time, but we're still at a point where we're not quite a big enough channel yet, and we'll keep working. We'll keep putting content out, and we put in a request for a media event this year for HHN, and they let us know really nicely, like, hey, sorry, just based off of how many requests we've had, we can't do that, and we just let them know, like, thank you for letting us know, and we'll keep shooting Universal content, and we hope you guys consider us in the future. So like no skin off my back. Nope. Like I get it.
We'll plan accordingly.
But it doesn't mean that we won't still be super at everything as much as we can be. So that's where, again, coming back, Stephen, thank you, because those dollars that you have invested in us have helped us be able to go to Universal and do this. Continue doing this. So thank you for those who are on our Patreon and really help support us. What else do we have?
Bill and Ted phone booth exterior to the tribute store. Do you think Bill and Ted show will return?
There's people talking about it. For sure people talking about it. Do you think they will? No? You think they're just like goofing with us? Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean,
Nightmare Fuel is apparently on that long-term deal.
So. Yeah. I told Ben the other day that the Fuel girls have been posting more stuff lately with HHN.
Yeah. So
I'm like, is that a sign? Is this a sign? Maybe. We have been rewatching last year's Nightmare Fuel show. Thank you, Unfriendly Hero, for putting that on YouTube
Tyler's
last year.
If you guys don't follow Tyler, Unfriendly Hero, you need to.
If
his
you
photos
want fantastic photography.
Incredible.
Yeah. But we have been rewatching that over and over. We actually are trying to sell a buddy on it yesterday to get him to go with Big John as well. So, okay, what else do we have here?
Concept monsters for Dark Universe. New concept monsters for Dark Universe.
Wait, what?
Stevens.
Oh, the new concept.
We haven't really seen much of that.
No,
we haven't been really trying. Like, we've seen the preview center. I've generally been avoiding a lot of content regarding the preview center because it's like, I know it just doesn't do it justice. Like
Epic? It doesn't do Epic justice?
The preview center, even like just seeing the preview center and like the augmented reality and stuff like that. I just know it, like, it's hard to like capture that in content.
Epic is going to be so big and so amazing that being able to immerse you the way that the theme park actually will when you go, it's like like you said, you can't do it justice. Like we didn't get a chance while we were there. The preview center hadn't quite opened yet, but we were outside of it like the night that the screen in front of it had turned on and was like literally at like 1:30 in the morning, 2 a.m. We're like, look at it going. That big preview center looks cool. We'll be popping in when we're back there. Like it is what I expect the preview center to be. And I think again, I don't think it can do enough justice with how cool Epic will turn out. Like it'll be awesome. So,
how often do we go to Universal?
As often as we can, like 5 times a year, maybe 6.
This year might be like 7.
We went in January, February, March. Sounds like a lot. June, because we had to take a small break as far as like work schedules go. We try to avoid July and August, but we will be there at the very end of August, early part of September. That will be our longest trip that we're there. We'll be there for a week, just over a week.
October,
and then
probably.
We do hope to go back in October, not officially in stone, but sounds like Columbus Day.
And then November.
We want to go back for the meetup, and then
maybe December.
We've talked about December, but that's also a time where we try to do a little. Let's be honest, we try to spend some time with our family every once in a while. I don't know if my parents are on this right now or not, but
hey, party down in Universal, fam.
I mean, we said that before, and mom is in for the
I meet up in December. We're like, we really backed ourselves into a corner with that one.
Well, and then I also we might be visiting Austin again in December. We'll see. But so like, what was that? I think I ended up at about 5 to 6 visits a year based off of where we're at right now. We live 6 hours away. This guy is constantly on Zillow right now looking at houses down in Orlando because in about a year from now, we hope to be living down there. So when you guys ask us how often do we visit, then
a lot. We'll just answer a lot.
You guys want to hang out? We'll meet you at the park. So, okay, lots of questions here.
Was coming here to ask, but called and asked about military discounts on hotels and Freedom Pass if the spouse can activate the passes and discounts if the spouse. Yes.
To get the Freedom Pass initially, you do have to have the person. You had to pick
I think
because your name was on it.
My name was on it. But if you have your military ID, like she's got like her dependent ID, she's been able to pick them up before too. And then I'm always the one that usually ends up calling for hotels. And
he books he's the
I'm the ticketing guy.
Yeah,
reservation guy.
Reservations and tickets more often than not for us. I just schedule the dates and tell them, hey, let's go on this time. So, but you should be able to grab them, especially if you have for sure your photo ID. But second, if you have a military ID with you,
or like even a picture of their ID will help. So
yeah, I think I borrowed your ID while you were checking in to the hotel. I went and grabbed our tickets, and I was like, hey,
just because they were under my name, but the spouse definitely can if they're under.
Well, and part of it is like the freedom pass. Say Ben wasn't getting a freedom pass. Technically, I can still go get a freedom pass because I am a military spouse. And so if I was just buying an annual pass for myself, I would be able to do that with the freedom pass. So do we think there's an icon this year? And if so, who? I do think there will be an icon this year.
I have no
Beats
idea.
me.
Beats me. No idea.
Especially with like the gear that they're putting out with the more like graffiti style and all of that. Now, some of the promo materials, we speculated that Fear, who had been not an icon, but in the parks at one point, could have been an icon.
Make a return.
As the main icon. I keep saying icon.
We had talked Boris Schuster before.
I don't think that's.
I don't think so. But like, we'll find out. I think
we're on the cusp of getting a new drop here eventually. Yeah, so
now that kind of June 14th has passed, I think you're probably going to get another announcement here shortly.
Yes. Curious to see how the UAP works with Epic Universe added on our feed. Oh, all of us are waiting and wondering. Yeah, everyone is so curious. I don't want to
go down that rabbit hole.
My 2 cents on that would be save your money.
Save your money.
Start saving up, because I do think
regardless of whether it's an add-on or
whether it's just a specific annual pass that is just for Epic or encompasses all of it, it's not going to be cheap.
Not going to be cheap.
Yeah.
Besides,
Fudge Factor will be at Epic in 2025.
For sure.
We will be.
Besides you guys, of course, who do you think does great Universal vlogs?
Like YouTube videos?
Vlogs.
Yeah. Sorry. I heard vlog, I thought blog, and I was like, ooh, well, who does some writing?
we watch probably the normal ones. Like we watch Pew. Tyler and Anna are great people. Like
very great people.
They're super nice, super talented, like just great people all around. We watch them quite a bit. Rick's Flicks we watch all the time. Paging Mr. Morrow we watch all the time. Molly,
Paging Mr. Morrow doesn't do as much Universal. He focuses a lot on Disney and Disney Springs, but we do enjoy kind of mixing it up and watching. Like we don't watch YouTube videos as often now like we used to. But now we like to look at it from the idea of like, how do they make their videos? How do they do these different things? And how does it go? Or what information are they sharing?
Molly from Mammoth Club.
Yeah, we do love Molly from Mammoth Club. There's somebody that I'm thinking of and I cannot.
Vincent Vision.
We love Vincent Vision. Vincent Vision has some funny ones too.
Yeah, he's funny.
We used to watch Tim Tracker a bit. We don't watch him as much anymore.
He doesn't post as much.
But he also has 2 little ones these days. Like, so he's a bit busier with that. I think they just recently went on a Disney cruise.
Zombie Chris, Losh TV,
what's the one?
Theme, and then we still support the smaller channels that we like. Theme Team, Wicked Thrill Seekers, Accio Fun. Yeah. Like we watch all like the smaller people,
because everybody
starts somewhere, and so it's like
we were in that place.
We were there, and so we try to support everybody just all the same, and like every view counts. So,
the name will come to me of this person I'm trying to think of, and I just cannot think of her right now. Let's see. Hi Hayden, thanks for joining here. This is the person I'm trying to think of. There's a person who goes and they have a faceless channel and they do like the before and after and how Universal has changed over time. Who is that?
Yeah. It's not Theme Park Stop.
No, but it's very similar.
We also watched like the Frugal Brit.
We do watch the Frugal Brit. The Frugal Brit has some really great information if you're just trying to learn about how to do the parks, but you don't want to see faces and you want to hear a really lovely accent. So,
Brian, I'm local. If you need someone to, we will need someone to scout houses, tell us where to move to.
Big facts.
Right now we're thinking Claremont or Winter Garden area, but
we talked about Kissimmee as well recently. We're hoping that for a day while we're down there next, since we're there for so long, to just go and drive around and look at locations and things. Do we think this year's lineup for HHN will be better than last year's? I think it depends on what your definition of good is.
So this is just my 2 cents and opinion. Almost everything this year was going to feel a bit like a letdown. Feel that way.
If you were a big Stranger Things fan,
just because of
not Walking Dead,
Last of
Us,
because of those 2 strong IPs, and there was so much hype around Stranger Things in The Last of Us, like it is almost impossible to live up to that level of hype.
I mean, they had such a large Stranger Things in particular has such a huge following,
and so almost nothing unless they were like, I don't even know like what IPs they could bring back to like compare to that. And so like I don't like this year was kind of going to be like it feels kind of flat. Like it's not going to be.
I don't think it will be. If anything, I am hopeful that because we're not so far seeing as large of an IP like Stranger Things, maybe it might pull back the crowds just a little bit.
But those originals are going to crush it. Like they will. Like they always do.
They really do. Like even if the IPs aren't as big of a dollar amount, the whole lineup, I think, as far as an investment by Universal, will be
top notch,
be very good. So I think it's hard to be able to say, will it be better? Because I think it could be.
Oh yeah.
But people won't be as hyped about it initially until they go and they experience it. And then they're like, oh, dang, like Universal stepped up their game. Yeah. As long as it's better than the Chucky House, though. Yeah, the Chucky House. If you guys like the Chucky House, I apologize, but we weren't fans. So
no, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Yes, I agree. Pew 2 is great, and they're just sweet people.
They're very nice people.
We had dinner with them a year or so ago.
Yeah, last February.
And they
helped us out.
They're so supportive.
Like, they're so supportive. They'll like when we were first starting out, Tyler was so helpful.
Still
and
is.
Like honestly still
They
is.
just are so busy.
Like they're just wonderful people.
Yeah. And they've got 2 sweet pups also like us. So
oh yeah, Kevin. We watch Kevin.
Oh yeah, we do watch Kevin. We do. Crystal Palace,
great.
Yep. Sorry, just jumping through the things here. Epic opening will take some of the normal crowds. I do agree that it will the day Epic opens, Big John, this is why you need to move down to to Orlando, is so that way we can see what the Studios and Islands Park look like the day Epic is literally like.
It'd be crazy.
I think that the roads will get backed up. I think they're gonna have to direct traffic. They're gonna have to figure some things out. Like
people are gonna be camping in the parking garage.
I think it will be an absolute nightmare as far as crowds go, which makes me go, what will it look like? Like, will Hagrid's literally be a walk on that day?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll do. I'll send you to just go wait at everything. And then I'll just be like bopping through the park and be like, look at all the rides.
The sad part is, even if I camp out in a parking garage, it will not be the worst place I've ever slept in my life. So
that's true too. You'll be like, this is comfortable. Oh my gosh. 14-hour drive, Miranda. God bless you. But you'll be there soon enough. I hope you've hit up your Buc-ee's already and have your road trip snacks.
All right. So we got a question from Robin about when should we expect from our video from the last meetup?
Ooh, good question.
It's a great question. Probably a couple weeks, just because there's other things.
We have an HHN one.
Yeah.
I think probably if we talked about around the week of the 4th of July.
Yeah, right around probably the beginning of July, just due to like some other videos that we need to get out kind of that are more time sensitive. But it'll be out because we want to make sure that we get it out before the August meetup.
Yeah.
But it'll be out there. And like the meetup in this summer was wonderful.
It really was.
It was great.
It feels like a blur.
Taylor and the team do an incredible job of like keeping it fresh, keeping it new, original, and keeping that sort of low crowd vibe that they go for. Like It was a wonderful, wonderful time.
I think the longest we waited was for Hagrid. No.
But it was still
Dudley's. Dudley's was one of our long. I think I might have waited longer for Dudley's that ride than I did for Hagrid's.
Maybe. But
it felt like it.
Definitely felt like it.
We looked back through a couple of our videos from OI and watched them like once we got back to our room. There's going to be some very fun scenes.
Yeah, some fun scenes coming in those ones.
But the OI stuff in a couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Mainly just, again, you have to work. And then also we have a little bit more content that is like time bound that we have to get out. So where do you leave off here?
Stevens.
Epic will affect New Year's age. What? I don't know if I understand that question.
Do you think the opening of Epic will affect next year's?
Oh, I read it as New Year's. I was like, I don't know what New Year's HHN is.
Not really.
No.
Not really. Just because I don't think HHN will happen in Epic, and people still go to HHN in studios.
Well, it'll be also interesting to see when they initially open Epic, what will the hours for the park be? Will it close just as early as Islands would, or a typical day in the parks during summertime? Thank you for following us. We appreciate that.
Miranda did hit a Buc-ee's.
We still need to stop
at the brisket sandwich.
We have yet to visit a Buc-ee's, but Ben and I are making a trip up to Michigan here in a couple weeks, and Ohio, then to Michigan, and we plan on hitting a Buc-ee's on our way.
Did anything stand out from the previous meetups that surprised compared to other ones? From this previous
There's definitely been some changes.
There was definitely some changes.
There was we knew that this change had happened back in the February meetup, but our experience with prior meetups is that you still got that $15 gift card ahead of time. Now they don't do that. Instead, what they've been doing since February is they had food ahead of time that was available in little bites, grabbables, and you could go with them. And it was back. I do like that the check-in is in the back area for a sound stage now instead of sitting outside or standing outside. And then they used another sound stage for food, which when we checked in, it was a breeze to get back there. And then when we went to go get the food, we're like, oh, here's where everyone is. They had hot dogs, nacho bar, chili. I'm missing
mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese was really good.
They just
cottage pie,
quick little bites that were great instead of the $15 gift card.
And then at 8:30, I believe, is the time that sound stage with the food rolled over into a dessert bar. And so as you're making your way back and forth between the parks that evening, you could stop in, grab cookies, brownies, Rice Krispie treats. I'd say it could go either way as far as which you prefer.
Sure.
$15 gift card for each of us. Really nice. Big fan of that. Not going to hate on that. But the food and the convenience of it to not feel as rushed, to be like, oh, okay, we got checked in. Now we got to go get to our reservation because we want to make sure we hit it in this amount of time. That was also nice. And I think particularly had you and I had some people with us, my parents or John or whoever comes and does the meetups with us, we would have probably hung out in that food area a whole lot longer than we did. But we also had to go start eating food and filming.
This was also the first time that we experienced some of the restaurants being open right when park closed. So it was Richter Burgers,
Cafe La Bamba,
Cafe 4, and Burger Digs were open right when park closed for unlimited food.
Not shocking.
They were busy.
Still not our favorite. But Cafe 4 had a line the second night.
Yeah, they all had a line, which is to be expected when you get free unlimited food.
But I will say one of the things I liked, we were in line to go into Richter Burger on the first night of OI, and although the line backed up quite a ways as you're waiting to get in there, you got in very quickly. He had to wait a little bit to get your grilled chicken burger.
To be expected.
But I literally walked up, grabbed a thing of vanilla ice cream and an apple pie, and I was able to just go sit down within seconds, and so that was fantastic. But other
than that, it was
personally, I think that the food service was a better experience than we've had. Not as far as eating food, because they could get us in quicker, we ate more. But they got you through things so much faster, and the food was
Food was good.
I don't think we had anything that was cold. Like in years past, at OI's past, we have had food that had been sitting there for a bit because they're making so much of it. This time they made plenty, and also the turnover of it was like more well scheduled, I would say. So all that to say, all the food, so much food.
Do we like high thrill coasters like the Velocicoaster and Hulk? Yes,
absolutely.
We will ride everything.
I think Stardust Racers is going to be fun. I haven't looked, but I've heard there's no inversions on it. I was kind of hoping.
Hopefully it's smoother than Rip Ride, though, then, because there's no inversion like Rip Ride either. But
that's a really good point. As long as there's no vertical lift, which I know there isn't on Stardust Racers. But I think Stardust Racers is going to be really fun, and I like the idea of racing coasters. Like, I think that will be very fun. We never got a chance to ride Dragon Challenge. And so kind of in a similar respect to that, I think it'll be cool and less people accidentally kicking each other. So always great. Where are we at here?
Any advice for new HHNers?
Absolutely.
We will
watch our videos.
Yeah, we have we will have we've got a video out on almost every like small little niche topic, but like I think the biggest thing is like kind of go into it with a plan. Like look at the map, see what houses are kind of a must for you, and then just like prioritize accordingly.
We have videos that are out right now. If you want to know about ticketing, if you want to know about Stay and Scream, if you want to know about Express Pass, I think we have a packing list that's in the process of coming out.
Yep.
And we just filmed a video a couple hours ago
some tips
for additional tips, like things we wish we would have known prior to going to HHN. But really, like, if there's a particular thing you have a question about, let us know. We're happy to advise you and help. Because like the last thing we want are people going through some of the experiences that we've gone through.
Yeah, 100%.
One of my favorite tips that's not as probably like helpful, but just more like a fun thing to do is when they put out the Universal podcast that kind of give you the backstory of each of the houses, go on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts and listen to it, because it's so fun to start kind of like getting amped up for the houses ahead of time. And then you also have a better idea of like, what is this original house about? What is the story behind Major Suites or any of these things? That's one of like my new favorite things that they started doing in the last couple of years. So
do we feel like it was a disadvantage having the park open to day guests so late, like regular people jumping in the line, clogging the lines for another? Yes and no. I mean, like that happens at every OI meetup.
Well, mainly summertime.
Summertime just is because the park is open. So like Saturday, the park's closed at 9 and you still had the local noise ordinances so like
things to be aware of going to OI.
It's things to be
aware of. If you're going to a summer OI event, summertime is their busier time. It's also brighter out throughout later into the night. And so the parks, like they're going to keep the parks open later to regular daytime guests. The same goes for OI events during Mardi Gras. If there's a concert night, like they're going to run the concert. And so OI is going to start a little bit later. And so I think that's just a bigger thing that we've learned in booking our OI, kind of setting our expectations ahead of time so that we know, all right, well, it's a concert night. The free food at these particular areas won't start until later because of, DJ Khalid singing or what have you. So not terrible, but I think part of it is just a matter of we had that expectation ahead of time.
If we had to choose, do we prefer original houses or IP houses?
Originals, yeah, for sure, originals. And I think the biggest thing is like with originals, you just don't know what you're gonna get, and so I think you get better scares that way.
One question with the meetup: were the mobile food stands open to grab Red Bulls or Monsters? I don't know. We talked about it. We did talk about it when we passed the Kong.
There weren't any Red Bulls you could grab, but there were monsters, and we joked about asking for one, and we never did. But you can get blue Gatorades, Powerades.
Lots of blue Powerades.
Lots of blue Powerades. Have that on video. One of these days we should ask about one of those monsters, because I feel like
they're
there.
They're
there. Like they're like a blue Powerade or the water that's in that same thing.
Yeah, so
maybe. I'm shocked we never asked for one. We drink a lot of caffeine. Let's see here. Oh, I jumped. Slaughter Cinema 2, Goblin's Feast, Major Sweets Candy Factory, the museum. I think the museum one's going to be really fun. Deadly. Well, that's the rest of the museum. Monsters of Latin America, Triplets of Terror. What's first for you?
Monsters. I'm going with Monsters just because it's seen it in Hollywood. But
I think the Triplets of Terror is going to be absolutely terrifying.
Do we recommend 1 or 2 nights of the OI meetup?
2.
2. Always 2.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn the AC on. See you. We need to bring a frog talk up here
glistening.
For you. Yeah, sparkling.
I'm impressed with the amount of new food rollouts. Now beignets. I wish the waffles were permanent. What's your favorite item in the cookie butter waffle at HHN? Or sorry, not in Mardi Gras. Yes, delicious.
Not the cookie butter crepe, but the waffle. The liege waffle.
The liege waffle.
That one was your favorite. My favorite. And we're talking Mardi Gras, not really, but like my favorite thing I think I've eaten so far this year was the mini king cake at Mardi Gras. It was so good. So good. Also, was it this year or last year that we had the Jurassic Park trifle? It must have been last year when we had the Jurassic Park tribute store. That one slapped. That was good.
Should they do Stay and Scream or RIP or both? It kind of depends how many nights you're there.
If you're going to do one day,
RIP.
Do RIP.
Multiple nights, Stay and Scream.
Hit up Stay and Screams. It'll cost kind of less depending on what type of ticket you get. But like if we were only going for one single day RIP. Of HHN, we'd either do RIP or we do the premium Scream night, which here we are. But if you have the ability to go for multiple nights, you probably don't need to spend the additional cash on an RIP tour to be able to do everything if you have multiple days to split up. So Stay and Scream is going to get you a little bit more bang for your buck in that sense.
What are our thoughts on filming and enjoying the trip? Watching you made me wonder if it's less fun, feeling obligated to get content. Glad you do it. Just wondering how the experience has changed.
We talked about this a bit on our drive home.
It just changes.
We have arguably more fun shooting content these days. Like we absolutely had a blast when we would go to the parks and not shoot content. Like don't get me wrong there, but what we are there to do and what we're trying to film and be able to provide for people, like it does change our focus of what we're trying to do in the parks. But we have such a good time doing it.
Yeah. The idea that it's like you're facilitating somebody else's fun means a ton to us, that it's like, oh, we watched your videos and they helped so much. Like that means the world. And so like the idea that we are helping other people have fun is great. I
will tell a small secret though. So funny to say, admit this here. We would rather film stuff than go and wait in line and ride on a ride at this point in time. We still love the rides.
Oh yeah.
However, I enjoy riding rides now so much more when we have people with us because like we know what we get from the rides. We know what to expect. We've done all of them so many times, but doing the rides with like anybody on this live or people we bring to the parks, like we would rather go and ride. I'd rather ride Hulk. I'd rather ride Mummy. I'd rather do things like that with other people now than like, again, just you and I be like, we're going to go wait in line and go do this because like, it's more the experience of doing it with others that we enjoy to share it. And I think that that's why we like filming so much more is because we're creating this stuff to be able to share with people. And so if I'm going to go do a ride experience, I'd rather share that with others in the moment as well.
Yep.
So seems maybe a little corny, but it means a lot to us. Being able to do Universal with other people and share the love of Universal with folks is really important to us. So
we're looking forward to seeing you in the fall too, in the fall.
Yay! Yay! Bucking Grill in Maryland. Okay.
Yum.
Good to know. Check event schedule, as you said.
Yep.
The concert push food back. Yep. It does. The parks have to do what the parks do.
Gotta make money.
And so they have to be able to provide to the general admission guests. And so, at some point from the business perspective, we look at it really makes sense. Okay.
Makes dollars. It makes sense.
So like they got to be able to keep doing stuff at the parks.
Hey, Christine.
Hi, Christine. Thanks for coming.
What do you think is going to be the scariest house this year? Right now, I'm leaning towards A Quiet Place, but at the same point, Exorcist was a sleeper house last year. Sleeper.
Exorcist was so absolutely terrible. I think because we just didn't know we were gonna
Loved it. Loved it. That's our favorite house last year.
Willie's just thinking about it. Just thinking about it.
If you were local in Orlando, Florida, need to buy a frequent fear pass for HHN, it's a lot cheaper. Correct. The other thing that a viewer brought up, which was a great point, and it's something that we didn't necessarily consider because we stay at the hotels frequently, was parking.
Parking adds up.
With the ultimate frequent fear pass, having parking included is huge.
I like, that's something that we think about when we live down there, is like the amount parking could add up if you don't have the proper annual pass or the proper frequent fear pass. For HHN is like, parking will get you night over night if you're not staying on site. Facts. So whether you Uber in, which then the Uber's going to cost you,
Uber's gonna cost money,
like that parking price does add up unless you're looking at getting a frequent fear. So something to think about as well if you live down there, you're driving to the event.
Front row rides or any?
Yes.
Really, yes.
The answer is yes.
Am I going to wait an additional 20 minutes for Velocicoaster front row? Probably not. If it's only a couple people, then I'll wait. Hulk, all day.
Hulk is great. Although we had a great ride towards the back of Hulk this last go around, and that was like, I got off of it and I was like, that was the smoothest Hulk ride we've had in a while. It was really cool. But I love front row on Velocicoaster, specifically. Front row on Seuss Trolley, though, that's really where the money's at.
Careful, Velocicoaster.
Or Troller Coaster now. You got to add Troller Coaster in.
You guys,
I think I rode front row and back row when we were there at Troller Coaster.
You guys can help set up trips for those. Yes, we can. Like, if you guys have any questions, want to set up a call, you can either do it on the website, fudgefactoruniversal.com.
You should double check that, but yes.
Or just shoot us an email and we'll get it all set up for you.
We'll do a Zoom call, talk through some things, answer questions, help you plan out staying on site, not staying on site, how, like, tickets, what do you need? The last thing we want is somebody.
Reservations.
And then Ben will nicely write it up and make sure you have it in.
Always follow up and make sure that we capture on paper what we talk about, and so that you guys can reference it later on.
All right. Where was that last one here?
Boom times 2. If we have HHN Express passes, should we still do Stay and Scream? I recommend it because, like, last year, if you were strategic about, if you're trying to get all the houses done, if you were strategic with Stay and Scream, you could knock out 4 before general park admission even opened.
And not even use your express.
Express pass.
And then you can save doing your express for when it's later in the night, the wait times are higher, it's dark out.
But if you're not pressed to get all the houses done, no, like, because it's still 3-4 p.m. and it is hot.
It is hot,
just waiting.
It is hot.
So if you're not pressed to get into the parks and to get all the houses done, I wouldn't feel pressed to wait in the sun for 2 hours, trying to get to a house. Unless,
if you want to have a leisurely night, if you like, especially one of the things we don't do when we have Stay and Scream is we don't go and grab dinner before HHN, which, when we have all the time to have an evening at HHN, if you have the whole night and you have multiple days, or you're able to just kind of come and go, like, we really like going and like having a dinner, sitting down at a restaurant, City Walk, and then going into HHN once the gates have been open for a while, just kind of rolling in and doing whatever you want. But know at that point in time that the wait times will probably already be up there because general HHN gates have opened. But if you have Express, it's very helpful. Exorcist. Remember this? The smell of walking in and you're like, somebody, like, the smell to me was like, someone's got halitosis. Like, this is bad. Like, so it still sits with me.
What are your thoughts on how they do A Quiet Place? Zero clue. Might be quiet, might be really loud with the monsters, but it'll be interesting to see.
It's going to be.
I could guess, but it's.
Every time a monster attacks, it's going to be loud. And it will be shocking. It'll be jarring in my mind, like, because you won't expect it because it will have been quiet. That's what I think, or quiet in relation to what the houses typically are like. But I don't know.
What hotels do we recommend? Staying at Sapphire Falls for the first time in August. So we've we've actually officially stayed at every single one.
Yep.
And so our big favorites are Sapphire Falls.
Big fan of Sapphire Falls.
Big fan of Sapphire Falls.
They have great showers.
Great showers, great amenities. The water taxi kind of hit or miss.
The water taxi does.
The water taxi line just gets along, is really what it boils down to. And so we end up walking from Sapphire Falls more often than not, just because people come over from Aventura, Cabana Bay, fine and dandy.
It happens. We've never done it.
Real pro tip: if you really want to take the water taxi from Sapphire Falls and the line's super long, just walk a little down to Royal Pacific.
Yeah.
And hop on Royal Pacifics.
Also, if you're looking at taking the shuttle from Sapphire Falls, understand that it does do a full loop typily, and it'll pop over to Royal Pacific, and then it'll go over to Portofino Bay, and then it'll go to Hard Rock, and then it will go to
the City Walk.
The City Walk location. But you're also one of the first from City Walk to Sapphire Falls. So just understand that if you're jumping on this the shuttle, that the Sapphire Falls and Premiers do a loop, because it's all one shuttle that they share. And then all the Premiers are great. All the Premiers are great. We also, it really just depends on what you're looking for when it comes to the hotels. The thing that I appreciate about on-site hotels is they do, based off of price, really help get you the most bang for your buck. And so, if you want to save some money, staying at the Endless Summer Resort is a great option. But the upgrades you get in moving up through the different tiers are fantastic. So Sapphire Falls is beautiful. When we move down there, do you think you'll make more content for other parks or just stick with Universal? That's a good question. It's a great question. We'll probably branch out at some point. But even when we move down there, Epic Universe is probably going to consume a ton of time, just because it's just so big. So I think it'll be some time before we really branch out. I don't see us initially branching out to, let's be honest, the Disney options. Probably SeaWorld first. I think if we film anything at Disney, what it will end up being initially will be Ben and Og react to going to. This is my first time. I'm lost. Animal Kingdom for their first time. This is a whole video is us going around lost. Why are there so many strollers in here? I think it'll be more like that than anything. I do think that when we live down there, we will go and visit, just because you kind of have to. I feel but I do think that Universal will take up the majority of our focus, specifically with the launch of Epic Universe, and really tapping into all of that, because there's gonna be so many things to do over there, on top of then going back to Island Studios, Volcano Bay, to be able to enjoy what it's like now that there's this whole new ginormous theme park to take people to. So Hulk, Velocicoaster, and Rip Ride are the rides I will absolutely not do ever. We've done all of them. I, at this point, do not choose to ride Rip Ride, but Hulk and Velocicoaster, if you ever think of doing it, you're like, maybe, I'd say give it at least one run. Just one. And then you don't have to do it ever again. You can at least say, hey, I did it. Yep. It'll be done in a minute and a half. So we'll go out to, this is for after HHN and Epic. Any thoughts on plans for the Vegas? Sure. Open to it. Got to get at all costs. I think that before we do Vegas, I think we'll make our way over to Hollywood for HHN at some point. Very curious about experiencing Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights. Not because not for any other reason to me other than I just see the creative difference in how they build their houses compared to how Universal Orlando builds their houses. And it's when you start really looking at the nuanced details, it's so different, but also so similar. And I want to be able to walk through those houses to just experience kind of the artistic nuances of special effects. HHN. Yeah. I think that their houses are really, really cool, but they're very differently built in the interior. So Dollywood. Yeah. I'm going to visit Dollywood in, I don't know, a month or so for fun, for work stuff. Yeah. When you go to Stay and Scream, can you go to one of the HHN food stations while you're waiting in line? It depends. They're not always open.
And then a lot of the lines, like last year, you were in like cattle corrals, so you couldn't like go to the food booth and jump back in line. Like obviously, you could send somebody from your party to the food booth, but even 2 years ago, there weren't really food booths.
Typically, the food booths don't quite open at the time where you're in Stay and Scream. Based off of my experience,
you got a twisted tater last year.
I got a very fresh twisted tater. They had just opened their food booth, and personally, I don't think that the fryers were quite ready yet.
Yep.
So I would say, even if they're open, it's nice to get in line right away, but I'd give it a little bit of time to make sure that they're up and moving and running, because my twisted tater was soggy.
A big thing for Stay and Screams is bring water. Yeah. Water.
I actually just bought some collapsible cups off of Amazon for our next trip, just so that we have, we don't always like carrying our Coke Freestyle cup with us, especially when he has all his gear and we're trying to move and get stuff done and take care of things. It's not fun to have a hand that's just constantly holding on something. So I bought collapsible silicone cups for us so we can fill up water as we go through the parks.
Big thing, ice water.
Or just water.
Yep.
But it gets hot in the Stay and Screams, y'all. Yeah. It really does, especially if you're out in the sun.
Central Park gets toasty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, collapsible cups are a game changer. What else should we tell people about? Talk about, ask about? You guys have other questions, stuff coming up, things we can help you with. I know we've just been kind of going for the last hour now. Holy cow, time flies.
We do have an Amazon link. We can link it in
if I can drop it right here. Don't leave.
Open
that new tab. Sorry if we're shaking all of a sudden. I can't see everybody. I can't see us. Oh, here it is. Copy link. Here's our Amazon storefront. I haven't put the collapsible cups in there yet. That's just a lot of stuff that we've combined based off of things that we've purchased or we like, whether it's shirts or gear that we would buy for Volcano Bay. There's a lot of stuff that has helped us out in the parks, so maybe it'll help you guys. Especially one of our favorite things on there are the little footies that you wear when you go to Volcano Bay. Ben has a great pair with flamingos on them. They match his board shorts. But we'll add collapsible cups and other things that we would buy for HHN on there as well, in case you guys are curious. But we do make commission off of it. Just so you know, we have to be upfront on that.
What do we do day to day, everyday jobs?
Yeah. What do we do?
I'm in the military.
What do you do?
I'll leave it at that one.
I work for Trevor Cashy Nutrition. I do our client experience and I run some of our marketing, social media. But when we're not doing that, we are playing with our dogs. We've got one full bred Dutch Shepherd, another one that's a mix of Dutchie and Pitty, and they take up a lot of our time. We like to work out. We like to go and eat food. Human things.
Doing human things.
Most of our time when we have downtime is spent with our dogs or doing content work, whether it's editing, more editing, prepping edits. Like it does take up a significant amount of our time.
It's been a lot of fun though, because we meet a ton of really nice people.
Oh my gosh, we do.
So
we really do. There's some amazing team members. I don't have enough time to go through all of them, but we have some really cool friends that work at Universal at this point, and it's been a blast just getting to meet so many new people and get to learn what they do. And sometimes be able to highlight the work that they do. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's a secret.
Have we discussed the new package where you get a Hogwarts ticket, wand, and sorting ceremony and ride on the Hogwarts? No.
Ooh, I didn't know about that.
Know about that one. We'll have to
That's pretty darn cool.
We will have to look into that.
I hope that Theme Team does that with their kiddos.
That'd be cool. Yeah, for Theme Team.
They've got two little ones.
Little kiddos.
Yeah.
Do we recommend using the water taxis during HHN? First time staying on property, I've never been in the water taxis. They do get busy, especially at the end of the night.
At the end of the night of HHN, depending on when you're leaving, if you're waiting when everyone else is leaving, the lines for the water taxi and the shuttles can get super long. And I know sometimes the last thing people want to do after having logged 20, 30, 40,000 steps is also walk all the way back to your hotel. But
grab an ice cream and walk back. Go to EMAC and Bolio's if you're going through past Hard Rock to Portofino Bay.
It's so true.
Go to Cold Stone, walking back.
Or if you're going to Cabana Bay and walking all the way back there, get there and be like, yeah, I'm earning my malt on the way back. Because like we have seen the lines for we at one point went to forego the water taxi. We're like, we'll just do the shuttle on the way back. And the shuttle was like, oh
nope, never
my
mind.
gosh. So I think that's one of the reasons why we don't wait till the very end of HHN if we can help it. We leave a little bit before, but it depends again what we were shooting and what was going on that night. There's a bug right there.
Yeah, there is.
Get it. Ugh. Okay, where do we leave off? Water taxi. What's the next big thing you want to accomplish as a YouTube channel? That's a good question.
Get 5,000. Well, I mean, so there's the small intermediate goals of like subscribers, like
yeah.
I mean, subscribers do mean stuff.
They do.
Like they do. Like I think anybody that really tells you differently is.
Subs help. They definitely do. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, please do subscribe. It does help.
But like, I think our biggest thing is like we want to create a great community and continue to build a great community, and that's kind of what we set out to do. And is it a goal that'll ever really be reached? Like, who knows? But like that's the intent, is to grow the love of Universal so that people can have a great time at Universal with their families. And that's always the goal.
I did tell Ben this last trip, the first time Universal ever invites us to something,
it'll be pretty special.
I will cry. It'll be happy tears, but I will cry.
Do you think at this point have employees that you look forward to seeing at the parks? Yeah. Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah. There are quite a few employees.
Anybody that does Vamos.
Jazz
to see our Vamos
friends. Or anybody that did Mel's.
Anyone that did Mel's.
We will message on the way down and be like, when are you performing? There are quite a few there's one that does the Optimus Prime. Celestina.
We've got a couple Optimus Prime friends.
But yes, if the performers that we know, like we will pretty much message on the way down and be like, send us your set times.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot.
We check in on them as well, just because they don't do the same sets all the time. Yeah, like they have multiple jobs while they're working at the park, and so like even when they're auditioning for things, we're like, how'd it go? Like you can't tell us some of the stuff if you even got it, but like it went all right. And so like we check on our friends as far as like how things are going. Not so much to get the scoop as much as it is to be like, we just want to be there to support you when you are doing it.
Because like they're working their butts off. Like
you almost said something else.
Like especially like the dancers that are dancing in the 100-degree heat. Like I can't imagine doing that.
Well, we like knelt on the ground and tried to film, and we were uncomfortable. I can only imagine. They just don't stop either.
And so like having friends that are just like, I'm braving the heat with you and I'm gonna cheer you on and hype you up and do whatever. Like that's what I'd want my friends to do. So
we also have a couple friends that work behind the scenes on things and are I guess I'll say in the front performing. And so we connect with them when we go down there and just say, hey,
how things are going, and
try to meet up if we can. You know, it's like anybody that works a job. Like you want to feel loved and appreciated. And so if we can do that for them, like we want to take a little bit of time while we can to do that.
It's like anybody that like checking up on your friends.
Yeah, 100%.
Staying at Cabana Bay for the first time in a few weeks. I hope the shuttle parks for EPA don't take too long. Shuttles will start.
This is a good one.
Hour before EPA.
Yeah, they start when the security gates open. So if you're trying to be like very front of the line of EPA, we recommend walking and getting to the security gates when they open, which would be the same time the shuttles would start. And so if you're taking the shuttle, you're probably going to be in that second wave of people that get to the gate. You're still going to be pretty close to the front, but you won't be right up there solely because there will be a herd of people that have already come through the City Walk security gates prior.
The nice thing about the Cabana Bay shuttles, though, is like they have a dedicated route. So it's just going from Cabana Bay to City Walk back to Cabana Bay to City Walk back to
big facts. We do appreciate the Cabana Bay shuttles a lot. took those a number of times because the Cabana Bay walk does get a little tiresome.
Yeah, Cabana Bay walks pretty much all of about 20 minutes.
Between 15 and 20 minutes, depending on your speed
and where you are
or
in
if
that
you're
hotel,
awake,
or where you are in that hotel, because that hotel is massive.
The sides that have the suites, like the family suites, are closer to the walking path versus you're gonna add another like half a mile if you're in the regular rooms on the other side. So, but Cabana Bay, again, can't say good enough things about that malt shop.
Is great.
Banana pudding ice cream. Banana pudding ice cream. So, any other questions? This has been a fun one. You guys everyone's been pretty lively. A lot of good questions. Honestly, a lot of people turned out. Thank you for coming here tonight. Like joining us on your Saturday evening to chill with Fudge Factor as we just, spew about universal things and
drink Gatorade.
And Gatorade Zero, non-sponsor.
I think you say that every time that we have something like that.
Someday we might be. It's in hope. It's in hope. Fudge fam. Danny, I'm pumped to see you at HHN, by the way.
Brunch.
Can't wait for brunch. Can't wait. Oh, should we tell them a little bit about the kitchen sink, by the way? Speaking of brunch at Hard Rock.
Danny, the kitchen might be scarred for us due to the kitchen sink challenge.
When we go to brunch, if we have a sad look on our face walking into the kitchen, it's not you. It's just our sad
PTSD from the kitchen sink
experience trying to down a 7-layer cake that weighed 3 pounds, a burger, a bowl of fries, and a pint of ice cream.
It was a lot.
So much.
Have we ever attempted to walk to Volcano Bay? Is there a path from City Walk? Yeah, kind of. So
depends where you're walking.
Depends where you're walking from. If you if through City Walk is open, then you just hop on the general garden walkway path, probably to right around Aventura, and then can hop on the Aventura path. Or if you walked all the way to Cabana Bay.
You could. That's going to be a long
walk.
I would recommend if you're coming from Hard Rock.
Shuttle.
Portofino Bay to shuttle. But if you're saying at Sapphire Falls, Aventura, or Cabana Bay, it's just right there.
And then if Endless Summer, shuttle.
Endless Summer, also shuttle. The shuttles are great, especially the shuttles taking you to Volcano Bay. They move. They're good. And they're on top of things. In fact, we stayed at Sapphire Falls and we walked to Volcano Bay to go in the morning. And then afterwards, the shuttle to Sapphire Falls was literally waiting. We're like, all right, we'll jump on the bus. And it just took us to Royal Pacific and then popped the drop off.
A U-turn.
The drop off for Royal Pacific for the shuttle and the drop off at Sapphire Falls are literally right across the street from each other. And he's like, "We're going to Royal Pacific first. Is that all right?" I was like, "That's fine, man." And it's like he drove 10 feet over, did a U-turn, and then dropped us off. And thank you. Seems a little silly, but whatever. That's how it goes.
Gotta love Volcano Bay though.
Yeah. Oh, we had so much fun at Volcano Bay.
Last trip.
Love all your videos on hotels. Top 3 City Walk meals. Ooh, do you want to give away your sleeper or no?
Big Fire. The scallops.
Specific meal?
The scallops, the beer glazed scallops at Big Fire. Phenomenal.
Delicious.
I
don't think we have a specific one at Antojitos, but I know what we normally get in here.
Yeah. We usually get the quesadilla at Antojitos, but the tableside guac is phenomenal.
I was going to say our go-to meal at Antojitos at this point is we share a steak quesadilla and we get tableside guac and we split that together.
And then just crush 4 bowls of chips.
So many chips. But the real place that we have absolutely been enjoying lately, and I'm
surprised.
We're being very sweet sharing this secret because I feel like nobody takes advantage of it, is NBC Grill.
NBC is good.
Specifically your meal.
I get the tomato goat cheese chicken.
And it comes with this really great side of mashed potatoes.
Delicious.
I had the mahi fish tacos when we were there last, and those were also NBC Grill. We put it kind of on the back burner for the longest time, just treating it like it's just a sports bar, whatever. You can go to a sports bar in a lot of places. Not a lot of people go to NBC Grill. And so the last trip, we were exhausted after filming all day. It had been about 100 degrees out for hours on hours. He went in while I got a couple more shots, got us a table, and literally was able to walk right in and sit down. So it was great. But typically go-to places, Antojitos, Big Fire, and now NBC Grill. We do like cowfish.
Yep, cowfish is great.
Our problem is that we want to eat like 20 rolls of sushi, but our bank account says don't eat 20 rolls of sushi. So,
do you guys reserve a fire pit at Big Fire? How does that work? So there's a fire pit outside the bar area that you can sit by.
We normally want to be in the AC so bad.
If you're talking like the individual like table pit, like that comes with your s'mores. And
that's a good point.
Delicious.
If you haven't got the table side s'mores, that's a pretty fun dessert to share as well. Although one of the next times we go to Big Fire, we need to get the baked Alaska.
Yep.
Because that has great reviews and we have yet to try it. So yeah, we're going to brunch when we go. We should get that booked. Reserved. Maybe it's too early.
It's too early.
You never know. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Very pumped. We're staying at Hard Rock when we go next.
Yep.
Kind of our little special treat for our vacation week while we're there. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff, but I think that's what we got today.
Time to go let the doggies out.
We do need to let the dogs out.
Doggies are going to get a cameo.
Oh, he's just going to go down and let him in. I'll tell you guys some fun stuff in the meantime. In the meantime, we'll do another live in July. We've got planning. We've got announcements to come for HHN. Ben and I are going to go on a family vacation here in a couple weeks at the beginning of July, but we plan on doing a couple more lives to share you guys, like, here's what we think of houses. Here's our house ranking. See what you guys thought about some of the OI videos where we went through and we ate all the food. We also rode all the rides, or tried to, and see what's going on. Yep, he's going downstairs to grab the dogs right now. So I guarantee you I'll get out of the way. Lainey will jump up here and she will want to be on camera. Here they come. Hi, baby. Come here. Oh, don't knock things over. Ah, here's Lanums. Oh, goodness, girl. Hi, say hi. Say hi. You don't know what's going on, do you? You don't know what's going on. Can you sit on this chair? Sit. Okay. Lando. Come here. You want to grab him?
Chaos.
Why don't you grab him? Put him on camera.
Lando
has his ball. Oh my goodness. Here's Lando. That's our psycho boy. All right. Thank you everybody for coming and seeing us today. We've got 2 crazy dogs we need to go let outside. Stay tuned. What's launching tomorrow?
Money saving tips.
We have 5 money saving tips that'll come on YouTube tomorrow, and then stay tuned for some more HHN tips here real soon. Thanks for joining us. Bye.